Raz, da pokušate zajedno sa nama, sa vašim idejama, da popravimo i poboljšamo zdravstveni život svih nas i životne sredine uopšte u gradu Beogradu. Malo ću vam ispričati o projektu. Projekat se finansira iz Evropske komisije kroz program Horizon 2020 i ime mu je Clever City. Fokus serija koju mi radimo ovde danas je Linijski park koji se duž stare pruge kroz Dorćol. Grad Beograd je jedan od pratećih gradova. Vodeći gradovi su London, Hamburg i Milano. Želeo bih još jednom da se zahvalim ljudima koji rade na ovom projektu, koji nam zaista pomažu da pronađemo ta neka prirodna rešenja kao možemo da ugradimo naše planove i u urbanizaciju celog grada. Zaista vam zahvaljujem što ste ovde i nadam se da ćemo kroz sledeću radionicu uspeti da dobijemo nova rešenja i nove ideje koje možemo implementirati u novi plan detaljne regulacije koju grad intenzivno izrađuje. Prepustio bih sad reč koleginici koja je takođe deo ovog projekta sa svojim strukovnim udruženjem za CEUS, za eksperimente i urbano planiranje, koja izložit će vam ideju kako smo mi zamislili uopšte da izgleda budući linijski park. Ana, izvoli.
Hvala, Dejane. Pa evo, ja ću samo kratko napomenuti da ćemo vam izložiti kako mi zamišljamo da izgleda proces planiranja budućeg linijskog parka, a nadovezat ću se samo na Dejanov uvod o projektu. U pitanju je prvi razvojno-istraživački projekat koji finansira Evropska komisija, a u kome grad Beograd učestvuje kao partner, i vodeći gradovi od kojih mi učimo su ovde danas sa nama i čućemo šta oni zapravo rade kroz ovaj projekat u svojim okruženjima. Zadatak Beograda u ovom projektu je da prirodom inspirisane rešenja, koje je jedan novi koncept, ugradi u jedan urbanistički plan. Mi smo odlučili da to bude urbanistički plan detaljne regulacije za Linijski park na Dorćolu, kao što ste verovatno već videli, i da to uradimo na participativan i kolaborativan način kroz proces koji se sada sve više zove ko-kreacija ili živa urbana laboratorija, ali o tome ćemo govoriti malo kasnije. Samo bih vrlo kratko pojasnila šta podrazumevamo pod prirodom inspirisanim rešenjima. To su zapravo koncepti koji su preuzeti iz prirode ili podstaknuti prirodom, ali nekoliko važnih principa i karakteriše. A to je prvo da oni oslikavaju ono što je nama kao društvu važno, što je važno u našem društvenom životu, ali ono što nam je u kulturnom smislu važno. Pa ovde je primer High Line-a u Njujorku, koji je zapravo za nas najznačajniji primer kada pričamo o Linijskom parku na Dorćolu. Zatim koristi i tradicionalna, ali i neka naučna znanja, kao što je, ne znam, primjena tradicionalnih materijala, ali na nove načine, poput, ne znam, mahovine na zidovima. Zatim, ta rešenja se osmišljavaju i sprovode na participativan način koji je pravičan i transparentan, i zbog toga smo vas pozvali danas ovde da u ovoj vrlo inicijalnoj fazi planiranja Linijskog parka svi razgovaramo i svi iskažemo svoje želje, ideje, potrebe i vizije. Zatim, to su koncepti i rešenja koja podrazumevaju i kulturni i biološki diverzitet, i ovde je primer Low Line-a u Njujorku koji reciklira staru železničku stanicu i uz pomoć LED svetala i ogledala zapravo eksperimentiše sa tim da li priroda može da se gaji i u nekim potpuno zatvorenim podzemnim prostorima, a taj prostor se inače koristi kao centar za mlade i kao kulturni centar i objekat za alternativno obrazovanje. Zatim, ta rešenja podrazumevaju i ekosistemske usluge, to je termin koji nije možda svima tako blizak, ali to znači da koristimo prirodu da obavlja određene procese koji su od značaja nama, ljudima, pa u tom smislu jesu servisi, poput prečišćavanja vazduha, prečišćavanja zemljišta, smanjenja rizika od elementarnih nepogoda. Zatim, naravno, ta rešenja su u skladu sa principima zaštite prirode i ne treba da budu invazivna ni na koji način. mogu se sprovoditi samostalno ili integrisano sa nekim tehnološkim rešenjima, pa tu onda imamo neke razne primere inženjerske, poput proizvodnih fasada, na primjer, koji proizvode i energiju i hranu, i to su sad neke inovacije u tehnološkom smislu. Ti koncepti i ta rešenja treba da doprinesu negde globalnim izazovima, kao što su smanjenje rizika od katastrofa, obezbeđivanje sigurnosti hrane, znači urbane bašte su često predmet ovakvih projekata. I treba se truditi da ona budu utkana u neke mnogo šire javne politike. Znači, nije nešto čime ćemo parcijalno da se bavimo u određenim trenucima, nego treba stvarno da razmišljamo holistički i da se trudimo da to bude horizontalna tema koju u sve planarske procese uključujemo. Kao što je Dan rekao, mi ćemo se baviti Linijskom parkom i ja bih ovde zastala, ne bih o našem delu dalje, pustit ćemo jedan kratak film koji će vam brzo dati pregled onoga što smo do sada uradili, pa ćemo se posle vratiti na naš primer. Samo bih napomenula sada da će zapravo ovaj deo panela više biti niz prezentacija, da vidite, da ilustrujemo šta se zapravo radi u tim drugim gradovima i šta mi možemo da očekujemo u budućnosti, a deo diskusije će biti vaša pitanja i odgovori, tako da u bilo kom trenutku možete, ne dok je film koji traje 4 minuta, ali kasnije kada panelisti budu izlagali, vi slobodno prekidajte, podižite ruke, postavljajte pitanja. Ja ću samo morati da ponovim svako pitanje, zato što nemamo mobilni mikrofon, pa da bi prevodilac mogla da reaguje. Ja ću zamoliti sada Ivanu samo da pusti kratku video ilustraciju našeg rada do sadašnjeg.
Grad Beograd planira da razvije novu zelenu oazu, Linijski park. Ovaj prostor pruža se uz obalu od beton hale, uključuje istorijske strukture poput kule Nebojša i uz reku se oko Kalemegdana proteže do sportsko-rekreativnog centra Milan Gale-Muškatirović. Tangira stambeno naselje Dunavski kej i okolne blokove Donjeg Dorćola, zatim marinu Dorćol, čiji se razvoj očekuju u bliskoj budućnosti, kao i zaštićeno kulturno dobro, termoelektranu Snaga i svetlost i susedni kompleks beogradskih toplana. Prolazi oko luke Beograd, kroz zonu industrijskog nasleđa, pored Dunav stanice sve do Pančevačkog mosta. Ovaj značajan potez će u velikoj meri doprineti silasku Beograda na reke i povezivanju obala sa centralnim gradskim jezgrom. Grad Beograd doneo je stratešku odluku da planiranje ovog značajnog prostora sprovede na demokratski, otvoren i participativan način. Odluka o izradi plana detaljne regulacije doneta je u septembru 2018. godine, ali je pokrenut čitav niz akcija koje treba da uključe i angažuju građane i različite stručnjake u planiranju ovog projekta još u najranijoj fazi. U novembru 2019. godine osnovano je partnerstvo za urbane inovacije Clever Cities projekta. Ono je okupilo učesnike iz 45 institucija, a formalizovano je rešenjem gradonačelnika nakon što je održan prvi sastanak partnera. U decembru je organizovana prva fokus grupa sa institucijama iz neposrednog okruženja Linijskog parka, uglavnom budućim korisnicima ovog prostora, iz kulturno-obrazovnih institucija i aktivistima. Razgovaralo se o njihovim potrebama, željama i o viziji ovog prostora u budućnosti. U isto vreme, služba glavnog urbaniste grada Beograda, uz podršku Društva arhitekata Beograda, raspisala je poziv za mlade arhitektonske i transdisciplinarne timove koji se kroz taj proces kvalifikuju za izradu idejnog rešenja jedne od 10 prostornih celina Linijskog parka. Na ovaj poziv pristiglo je 28 prijava, a očekuje se izbor 10 timova koji će, svako za određenu zonu, uskoro pristupiti izradi idejnih rešenja. Njihov rad će koordinirati i usaglašavati stručni mentorski tim, a ovakav postupak treba da afirmiše mlade stručnjake, ali da obezbedi sveže i kreativne ideje za oblikovanje ovog prostora. U decembru 2019. objavljen je i upitnik za građane o sadržajima i aktivnostima koje ovaj park treba da ponudi, kako stanovnicima neposrednog susedstva, tako i svim građanima i posetiocima Beograda. Do sada je 450 sugrađana na ovaj način iskazalo svoje mišljenje, a upitnik je otvoren do kraja februara. U januaru je održana i druga fokus grupa sa predstavnicima stručnih institucija i akademije, na kojoj se diskutovalo o potencijalima i ograničenjima ovog prostora, pa se govorilo o postojanju prirodnih retenzija iz prošlosti i istorijske marine, o zakonskoj obavezi arheoloških istraživanja bedema, kulturnom potencijalu koji treba aktivirati, potrebi za istraživanjem zagađenosti zemljišta i bioremedijacijom, mogućnosti proširenja područja parka ka ICLEI, prioritetima i projekcijama budućih kretanja, ograničenjima u definisanju sadržaja na javnim zelenim površinama i drugim temama. Za sve to vreme, Urbanistički zavod Beograda radio je na izradi elaborata za rani javni uvid sa informacijama o rezultatima ovih participativnih postupaka. Rani javni uvid očekuje se u narednim nedeljama i to će biti prvi trenutak kada svi građani mogu i formalno da učestvuju u izradi ovog urbanističkog plana, da izraze svoje predloge, sugestije i želje. Rezultati ove radionice, kao i svih prethodnih aktivnosti, bit će priloženi i u ovom postupku. U koridoru bivše železničke pruge na Dorćolu
ne morate ponovo da gledate, prekinut ćemo. Sada mi je zadovoljstvo da dam reč našim panelistima i partnerima iz različitih evropskih gradova, pa ćemo početi od Nikole iz Londona.
Good evening. My name is Nicola. I work for the Greater London Authority, which is the strategic body for London. And I'm here today to talk about clever cities in London. I suppose the starting point really is why London wanted to get involved. And key to our involvement is really recognising that our city is changing and our population is growing. And we need to start rethinking about how we approach some of our services and how we can use nature, how we can use green infrastructure as a way to deal with some of the future insecurities that are going to take place as a result of population growth and climate change. So the London Plan is our strategic guidance, which really sets out how we see the city and what our priorities are. So when we started thinking about clever cities and this call, really the alignment between building strong and inclusive communities and creating a healthy city really chimed really well. And that's really thinking about how we can work better with our citizens to make choices about our neighbourhoods and how those choices in small-scale neighbourhoods can then be replicated and ramped up across the city. So in terms of designing our project, really thinking around what do we really want to reveal, what do we really want to find out, and really at the crux of all of our research questions is this quite fundamental, simple one, is we want to demonstrate that greener cities work better for people and for communities. I think we all have a really good understanding of our own local neighbourhoods and we understand how greening can really help and enhance our lives. And there's lots of really solid evidence out there, but we wanted to really demonstrate how that could work at a neighbourhood scale. So the area we're doing our activities is in Thamesmead, which is in southeast London. It's a suburban area. It was designed in the 1960s as the city of the future. It was where people had to be interviewed in order to be placed there during a whole period of slum clearance in the city. Sadly, it didn't become the city of the future. For a variety of reasons, it fell into quite serious neglect and was quite isolated. The plans for transport and train and rail networks never materialised. But things are starting to change. There's a new transport infrastructure going into place called Crossrail. It's many billions over budget and many years delayed, but we're sure that it's going to happen soon. And that really is going to unlock a lot of this area, and it's going to have serious and rapid change, both in terms of building new homes and also in terms of having to renew and replenish the current stock that's there. Thamesmead really is about the size of a town. There's 45,000 people that live there, and that's expected to double in the next 30 years. It's a really interesting space. Unlike the rest of London, it's got lots of green and open space. It has canals. It really was effectively the beginning of sustainable urban drainage. It was built on a floodplain. So really thinking about how we can use those from the 1960s, how we can use ways such as canals and waterways, both in terms of making it more aesthetically pleasing, but also managing surface water. And I think what's really interesting about Thamesmead is, although it has all these assets, you walk around and it's empty. For some reason, people don't really want to use it. And one of the things we want to find out is how we can work with people to redesign spaces to make sure that they really are fit for purpose. So the project's working very closely with Peabody, who is the landlord for the area, and they're really trying to take quite an innovative approach in terms of embedding landscape and the use of landscape at the heart of all their plans. And that's where Clever City comes in terms of taking some of those aspects and seeing how we can test, how we can pilot, and how we can co-create with local residents to see how best to make this work. So all of our actions is around action labs. It's about how we can really have applied research. So we are focusing in on two areas in Thamesmead called Parkview and Southmere. These areas got a high level of deprivation, there's a lot of transient communities and a lot of disconnect between different communities and different cultural backgrounds. The areas of focus around one long street, a lake, and then having small pockets dotted across the area. So in terms of our first action lab, it's really thinking about how we can use nature to connect people and connect places. The street is extremely car dominated, the footpaths are not very consistent, the air quality is not good, there's lots of fly tipping, so we really want to think about how we can work collaboratively with residents to address some of these things that we have around healthy streets, how we can use green infrastructure, greening for shade, how we can design small pocket parks and create spaces that people can actually sit in, connect and meet their neighbours. So taking a really co-design approach, we've been having a whole series of events working with residents, trying to get people out of their houses and trying to understand what it is that people want. All in the context of people have heard this before, there's been a lot of broken promises, so we're really starting from quite an area of distrust. The second action lab is around this new area around, so this is Sesame Lake. On one side you've got old properties and on the other side you've got brand new housing going in. And we want to see how we can use this lake as a place to actually knit the old and new communities and how we can encourage as a place for physical activity. Sadly, this is how it looks right now. So there's a lot of water contamination, so we're using constructed reed beds to address that, and then co-creating with residents about what types of activities they would like to see. That's the design for the future. And then the third action lab is really trying to take this nature-based approach, so looking at urban problems we have, so looking at fly tipping, areas that feel dark and unsafe. And if we really think about it with a nature lens, how can we actually come up with new and creative solutions to deal with these things? But there really are kind of pockets of beauty already. This is one resident who doesn't have a garden and has effectively taken over a balcony in order to grow fresh fruit and vegetables. And these are the kinds of projects that we'd like to see. So we really are quite at the beginning of our journey too. So really trying to look at how we can look to other projects to see really what works well, how we can apply it to Thamesmead, and how we can work together with the local residents in order to find some really interesting and new solutions. Thank you.
Hvala. Da li možda ima pitanja za Nikolu? Ako ne, onda ćemo zamoliti Terezu da nam kaže nešto o praksi u Milanu.
Hello everyone, I'm Teresa and I work for the municipality of Milan. In our city, we have three main actions. The first one is about green roofs and walls, green walls. Nowadays we have a call online and we are trying to select at least 10 green walls and green wood. And we are looking for citizens. So the first call, the first action is about citizens. We are looking for roofs of citizens, and the main important things is that we would like to have some roofs, not private ones, so everyone has to be access to these green roofs. The second action is in Giambellino, that is an area in the south of the city, and is about making some community gardens. The important things of this action is that the citizens has to be part of the action. So we are trying to involve in them in trainings, in understanding what they need, what they want in this area. The third action is in a station, in a train station, and we would like to rebuild the station with NBS. And also in this action we are trying to involve citizens in understanding what they would like to have in this station. So we are going to understand how we can solve the problem, the noises, because the train is really close to the houses. And we are trying also to develop some gardens, so the station can become a place where the citizens can go there and enjoy. All the three actions, sorry, I don't know why. No, all the three actions, is the slide before? I don't know why. The previous one. No, the previous. Okay, but it doesn't matter. All the it's the previous slide, I don't know why it doesn't work. All the three actions are in the same area. It is a south area of the city and is really populated and is not so far, okay, thank you, it's not so far from the city center. So you can see the first section is the CAL 1, that is the biggest one, and the second is the CAL 2 and then the CAL 3, they are really close. In the first action, that is the biggest one, you can see, maybe, no, you cannot see because it's really small, there are yellow points, and there are all the roofs that that are the, that they can apply to this call. While the second action is named Giambellino, that is an area quite big, because it's really populated, and we would like to make a community garden over there in close to the rail station. And then the third action is close to the canal, the main canal of the city, Naviglio, named Naviglio, and that point over there, the blue one, is the station where we would like to implement the NBS. Thank you.
Sada će nam se obratiti Anne iz Malmea. Malme je također prateći grad u ovom projektu kao i mi i oni vode taj deo projekta koji se odnosi na aktivnosti pratećih gradova. Ne znam da li je to jasno rečeno do sada. Vodeći gradovi zaista sprovode neke intervencije, mere njihove uticaje, izlače zaključke, a prateći gradovi na osnovu njihovih iskustava i njihovih zaključaka i pouka treba da se bave urbanističkim planiranjem koji bi napravilo podlogu da se i u pratećim gradovima u kasnim fazama sprovode takve rešenja i takvi koncepti.
Now it's working. Perfect. Yeah. Thank you. So my name is Ann Hager and I come from the city of Malmö. And I think, as Anna said before, we are a fellow city, just like Belgrade, in this project. So we are 6 fellow cities: Malmö, Svanto Georgia, Larissa, Madrid, Quito, and Belgrade, of course. And we will experience and learn more about nature-based solutions and, of course, exchange with the frontrunner cities and the implementation they are doing in their different areas. And for us, we will develop a strategic plan of nature-based solutions and how to integrate it into the city planning. So in Malmö, we have an area called Lindängen, and it was similar to London. It was developed during the late 60s, 70s, as part of the country's Million program. So we were going to build 1 million houses or housings during a very short period. So they were building fast and big, which of course created some physical challenges, including these large-scale monotonous architecture with broad throughways and quite unsafe pathways as well. So you have these high-rise blocks and quite in a big area as well. So the city decided to focus in this area and created a new governance pilot program, which means it's a way for the city working across the city administration, across regulations and budgets to focus a lot of action in this area. And for us, working with the fellow cities and the front-running cities and working with nature-based solutions, we will have a focus on health-related issues, because there is also inequality in health within the city, and this area is quite vulnerable in that way. So in the area we have residents that have quite low rates of school education, employment, election participation, and life expectancy as well. So there is a lot of challenges, but we will focus with the nature-based solutions on health issues in this area. So this is just some photos from the area of their rebuilding and regenerating the area quite a lot. Just some small short activities that we are doing now, of course, setting up a local partnership, a lot similar to here in Belgrade, and engaging in local weekly activities. And then in the city administration, we are coordinating with all the departments and the private property owners to make this strategic plan on how to use nature-based solutions for the challenges in the area. Yes, thank you.
Ali možda ima nekih pitanja za paneliste koji su do sada izlagali? Možda mogu ja da odgovorim jer ja mislim da sam razumela, ali možemo da... Teresa, you said we are looking for citizens in the beginning of your presentation. You're looking for citizens for the open call for greening the roofs, right? Raspisali su konkurs za zelene krovove privatnih investitora, recimo. Izvolite. Ja ću da ponovim, moram sve zbog prevodioca. Pitanje je za N. Koje nedeljne aktivnosti imate i sprovodite na terenu sada dok je projekat tek u fazi pripreme i izrade?
So, hello. They have the weekly activities. They have a Thursday grill, Thursday barbecue every week, which of course gathers a lot of people from the neighborhood. There is also a place called Returen, the recycling house, I don't know, which also gathers a lot of people. They have a cafe there and you can do craftsmanship or the crafts, I don't know that English word. Yeah, thank you. So this is every week and it's quite popular. I mean, all the people come for the barbecue. It's during lunchtime and it's free. So yeah, people come and eat burgers as well.
Ja verujem da bi se roštilj četvrtkom kod nas prilično dobro primio, tako da jeste neka mera koju možemo da preuzmemo.
Jedno pitanje. Koja je veza između ovih gradova i Beograda? To je periferija, deo koji treba da se živi. Projekat nigde nije zaživeo, svuda je u eksperimentalnim fazama, znači treba da počne.
Pitanje je bilo šta je zajedničko ovim gradovima i našem gradu, s obzirom da je dosta površina koje se obrađuju u drugim gradovima na periferiji, a naše područje rada je u centru. Ja mogu da živi. Da, jeste živ jedan deo područja Linijskog parka. Da, ali imamo prugu koja treba da se izmesti, imamo ceo deo industrijski koji zapravo nije živi, koji uopšte ne funkcioniše. Mislim, već od naselja Dunavski kej vi to područje ne koristite, osim kada rizično prelazite preko željezničkih pragova. A što se tiče vodećih gradova, i oni su u fazi izrade projekta, ali njihov zadatak je da zaista sprovedu, da izgrade nešto, da ozelene, da raspišu konkurs, da se to sprovede, da onda mere, a naš zadatak je samo proceduralan, znači u našem projektu nema nikakvog izvođenja, mi se bavimo planiranjem. I rezultat bi trebalo da bude urbanistički plan, koji je vrlo konkretan dokument, koji zapravo definiše sve promjene u prostoru i svu buduću izgradnju. Imamo još jedno pitanje. Izvolite.
Moje pitanje je to se ostavno ovo. Let me say it in English, especially because of the London.
Thank you.
I've been living in London for 20 years, and I remember when your council was GLC, and there was a big row talking about Barbican, which was the first eco center. So Barbican Center is something very special about it, and it could be something that we could really evaluate here, because this is the real heart. The question for us here is not to develop, but to transform it, because I don't know how many people are here. I'm not that old, but I know that some people are here like 70 years. Before these council houses were built, this was just a place where people came to bathe, because it was called China Beach or something like that. So the railway, yeah, it will go, and that's for sure. But my real question is maybe not for the panelists, but it's because you say that there are 4 locations, there are 4 pinpoints. Who's going to invest in that? Because there are already in the city council, there is also a parallel plan, not the urban plan, but a plan which is a business plan. So we need to know the citizens of that area, who's going to invest, and what is our power to be involved, because this is very nice, this is just urban stuff. But I can always remind you that Novi Beograd was urban as well, because even in the...
Možemo, izvinjam se, što treba da prevedem i prevodicu, samo da malo sažmemo pitanje, da se fokusiramo na pitanje, a možemo posle da nastavimo diskusiju i razgovor u radioničkom.
Mi nismo u nivou razvijenja, mi smo već formirana celina i mi treba da transformišemo prostor koji je nekako druga bila u nešto što treba da bude zeleni i ekološki deo. Znači mi nismo u ovom sistemu. To su jako lepi primeri, ali ono što sam uputio vašoj panelisti iz Londona, postoji jedan primjer u Londonu koji je 45 godina, oni to mogu da urade i na svom južnom. Koji je 45 godina urađen u centru grada. Znači potpuno urbani deo sa svim kaskadama, čak i pozorište uvađene, ali zeleno lazo.
Jer je mogu samo pitanje i onda je bilo ko će investirati u sprovođenje.
Ja imam prvo pitanje, koliko je realno da ovo što vi planirate urbanistički bude sprovedeno, to je paralelni plan koji je vezan za biznis plan u gradu. Drugo pitanje je šta u ovom već formiranom naselju postoji. Ovdje postoje generalno urbanistički plan, tako da znate da ove zgrade koje ste tu nacrtali, oni su trebali da dođu skroz, da se povežu skroz od ozgod razrednog dole. Tako da ne znam šta je sa tim planom.
Ovako, imali smo jedan komentar a to je da naš rad zapravo neće biti razvijanje područja grada, već transformacija područja grada, što je apsolutno tačno. A pitanje se odnosilo na to ko će investirati i kako će se sprovesti ono što mi sad ovde planiramo. Pa u tom smislu pretpostavljam da je pitanje usmereno na nas koji smo iz Beograda, a ne na naše kolege iz drugih gradova. U principu mi ne planiramo ništa, zbog toga smo vas sada izvali. Institucije gradske će izraditi plan u tehničkom smislu i u administrativnom smislu, ali trenutno ne postoji nikakva ideja o tome šta će taj plan biti. I upravo zbog toga smo vas izvali u ovom vrlo ranom i inicijalnom momentu. Rekli ste da postoji, ako mogu da završim, molim vas, rekli ste da postoji puno privatnih investitora i to je tačno. Mi ćemo, ja ću se kasnije vratiti na to kako radimo do sada. Napravili smo to radnu grupu Partnerstvo za urbane inovacije i tu imamo 7 sekcija. Jedna od sekcija jesu veliki investitori. Ideja jeste da se i oni angažuju i uključuju u proces i to zapravo i rade. Predstavnici Luke Beograd redovno dolaze na sastanke, to ćemo ilustrovati još malo kasnije. I ideja, mislim, niko od nas nije nesvestan toga da u razvoju grada postoje različiti interesi, naravno. Ideja jeste da probamo da nađemo presečne tačke i da probamo da se trudimo da kroz jedan što pravičniji i transparentniji postupak radimo i promovišemo ono što nam je svima u interesu. Naravno da će biti neke konflikata, mislim, niko ovde nije idealista, niti je naivan, ali ovo što sada radimo je zaista vrlo iskreno i vrlo verujemo u to i na kraju krajeva primeri iz gradova koji su ovde vama sad prezentovani pokazuju da se to radi i da takva praksa jeste moguća. A svakako je ovo jedan pionirski postupak. Ne znam da li treba dopuniti pitanje, a možda možemo i u drugom dijelu da prosto završimo sa svim prezentacijama, ako se slažete. Hvala vam. Sada bih pozvala Danijelu iz organizacije ICLEI, koje je globalno udruženje gradova i opština, da nam kaže nešto više upravo o ovome o čemu smo sada govorili, a to je ko-kreacija ili participativni postupak planiranja. Zašto je važan, kako se sprovodi, koliko je realan, pretpostavljam, ne znam šta će biti prezentacija.
Hello. Oh yeah, it's working. Hi. This is Hamburg. So, I'll give the microphone to you because I cannot present for Hamburg. Okay, sorry. Okay, so, right. Should I have a pointer, maybe? Thank you. So, hello. First of all, before I start, I just want to say, I'm really impressed about such a full room. So I'm going to talk a little bit, really not taking a lot of your time, because we want to discuss, we want to talk to one another. I just want to say that I'm going to talk about co-creation today, and the first very basic thing for co-creation to happen is exactly this. It's a full room, it's interested people that want to transform their own place, so this is like the best starting point that you could ever have, is to have such a full room. Okay, now I have the same problem. Okay, it works. So I'm from ICLEI Europe, so this is a network of cities. We exist I think more than 20 years now, and we're trying to work together with cities to bring more sustainability. So on the ground. What is co-creation? Or what is co-creation? A lot of people say it with this, So I think here I put some questions here, things like the time span of a project play a role, what people want to achieve, what do they mean by co-creation. Some people understand public participation as one thing, co-creation as another level of public participation. What is possible within time, within budget. So there are a lot of questions that play a big role in the level of co-creation you can have for a certain project. But I think an important thing to talk about when we talk about co-creation is considering that we are talking about very different groups. So it's not only about, you know, the city coming to the citizens and organizing a public hearing and then they communicate that they are doing some plans. That's more like just communicating. But real co-creation can only happen when you, from a very initial phase of a project, really, you are open and you listen and you know what people really want for the place where they live, right? So you have the citizens, that for me is like the biggest pillar, and then you have researchers, you have students, you have professors, people that are really trying to, you know, study the different impacts of nature in the city that can bring a lot of input for a given plan. And then you also have, of course, the city council, right? So the city hall and the whole strategic idea of the city, and, you know, people that were elected and are representing the democracy, right? So the biggest question, I think, for citizens is really like, voice your needs. So this is something that I'm sure that if we see a full room like this, you see that you already have people that are interested in putting a voice out there and saying, okay, we really have some needs, we are interested in this. Make use of opportunities. So if we meet one another, we exchange with one another, we might get aware of what other people think. What are the opportunities there, you know? You might already see a group of artists that are already starting to do something here. You might see a group of entrepreneurs that are like trying to start a theater or something. So you get aware of different, you know, initiatives popping up. And of course, it's also about finding committed people, right? People that are really keen to not just only sit down there and say, oh, what is the city doing for us? What is the politics doing for us? But these are people that really want to get active. So I think that's a very important ingredient of co-creation. When we're talking about researchers, no, we're talking about, I put students here, we're not only talking about experts, the students are also, you know, experimenting in universities and coming with fresh ideas. So it's about developing the agenda for, you know, what is needed, what kind of information you need, research information, science information for a certain area. So universities can help a lot on that to build up the knowledge, you know, that maybe the local people, they have the tacit knowledge, so the on-the-ground knowledge, and there is the scientific knowledge. So bringing those two together is very important. Of course, building the capacity of partners, so you might need really experts saying, oh, this region here is contaminated, there is a certain way to decontaminate, so you might really need in-depth knowledge. The budget and time of cities is also important to see what is the extent that you can, you know, the timeline to streamline the work of researchers with what is happening in the city. And the city planners is also very important to exchange with them. So city planners, they're sometimes in the city doing very heroic, acts. Like they really dream sometimes for parts in the cities where you can really have something for the people. So it's always also about getting political backing, you know. If you're trying to bring something on the ground for citizens and you have people inside the city hall with a lot of power who are interested in, you know, doing something for only going to the real estate logic, you know, trying to sell the city for developers and people that are gonna buy maybe properties that they will never live there. So they don't care about gentrification, which is when you have the prices of the properties going up because people are investing, and then you get people that are really on the ground living there getting exposed, you know, getting pressed out of the areas. So a lot of developers, they don't care. They are even profiting from gentrification because they're happy if the prices are going high. So it's very important to get political backing inside the city hall. Those city planners that are really interested in doing something for the citizens, really, and not only to, you know, to generate, gains for the real estate. So it's about finding also committed colleagues, you know, going to the departments, interacting with one another and seeing how can you convince more departments of the importance of doing something that is, you know, cross-cutting, making use of opportunities as well. So here some things that we, as ICLEI, we have seen in our work in the last years. It's to put expectations on the table. So it's very important to talk about what do you expect. It's also important to, you know, do expectation management, right? Because I know that when people get together to see something happen for a region or for a city plot, they want to see results. They want to have it fast. But a co-creation process takes a lot of time, because you have a lot of voices to hear, right? You have to actually sometimes even try to get the unusual suspects, so people that would not come to such a meeting because they don't feel included, they don't feel part of the you know, of the, how to say, a society. They are marginalized. So to get these voices also in. So this all of this takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. So it's not about immediate results. It's about patience. It's about hearing one another. So expectation management is really important. Keep the curiosity alive. I think that has a lot to do with transparency. So that people really think, okay, we're talking about a project, but we are really putting on the table the different bits and pieces of the whole puzzle. And things are not getting hidden, and it's about transparency. Employ a skilled facilitator. So I think it's also, that's a thing that when you have somebody which is, who is not directly, you know, impacted by a process going on, this person might have a neutral position to kind of facilitate the process and hear here and hear there, you know, what people are saying, and yeah, give the opportunity for everybody to voice without manipulating. So a neutral, skilled facilitator is very important in such processes. And set up clear processes on agreed rules. So I think, yeah, if we're talking about participation and co-creation, it's very important that we have some basic rules so that people can, you know, respect one another and exchange on a very open basis, right? Yeah, here are some, yeah, references. So Clever Cities has been doing a great work. We have an institution called Politecnico di Milano. They have been doing a co-creation guidance. It's on the internet. Everybody can, you know, actually look at it, the different principles of co-creation, and how Clever Cities is going to try in the front-runner cities to take this forward and forward during the next years. And there is a project called Green Search. Oops. Where you have also a brochure to, you know, to do the citizens and research, how to say, play out, you know. So there's a lot of knowledge there about this kind of collaboration. So yeah, I just want to say thank you, and yeah, I think you're starting really strong here.
Da li neko možda ima pitanje za Danijelu? Izvolite.
Ja bih zahvalio Danijelu za zanimljivu kako građani mogu da učestvuju, odluka. Međutim, onda se malo to drugačije. Konkretno sad na ovom skupu, ja ne vidim ovdje, ispravite mi, ako ovdje postoji neko iz gradske uprave ili
Pa evo, Dejan nam je iz gradske uprave, a imamo i druge organe gradske uprave u publici, tako da postoje.
Ali, za razliku od ovih gradova i tih primera koje me navodi, mi ovde kao građani to doživamo malo drugačije, jer ovde se skoro sve radi suprotno od onog što smo mi očekivali. I što je bilo u generalnom turističkom planu, mnogo toga se menja i donose se odluke, nosioci odluka, možda čak i lex specialise i menjaju sve ono što je bilo planirano ranije, to se sad menja, da nismo očekivali. Mi smo očekivali sasvim nešto drugo. i onda nam se tako prave neke stvari koje nama uopšte ne trebaju ili koje nismo ni očekivali da će neko da pravi. Ono što bi mi htjeli, to ne mogu veliko da kažemo.
Pa vi ste potpuno u pravu, samo to je komentar, da, koji nam uopšte, ali vratit ćemo se na njega posle, svakako.
Kako smo mi uspeli da odbrane, kažem, taj ideološki plan od, kažem, tih interesnih grupa, investitora, lobija, kako su oni uspeli to da odbrane?
Well, the question is general for everybody, I think, and izvinite, pitanje kako su naši vodeći gradovi uspeli da odbrane interese građana i želje građana od interesa interesnih grupa, velikih investitora i finansijera.
I suppose thinking about my project in London, we're in a very good place because our partner is the Housing Association, who have got a long-term investment plan. So they really are there for the long term and want to ensure that the needs and the wants of the residents are actually kind of listened to and adhered to. But in saying that, there is always going to be a tension between how land is used, how land is designed for different types of groups. So we're very aware of gentrification, of private properties that could become more expensive. So I think it's very much about trying to use this project as a way to really better connect neighbours, to try and curate strong social infrastructure, which will then help empower citizens to hold people like the Housing Association to account. Also, the Mayor of London has a new approach that there has to be a ballot. Citizens have to vote on new regeneration initiatives in their area. So it's really about striking that balance of making sure that citizens know their rights and they know what they can and can't kind of appeal against. I'm not sure if that's one example from London.
Ja bih samo napravila možda 2 komentara na Danijelinu prezentaciju. Ona je spomenula da treba koristiti sve kapacitete i spomenula je studente. Ja bih ovom prilikom da se zahvalim svim studentima koji su ovde i koji su na master programu Integralni urbanizam obrađivali prirodom inspirisana rešenja i dali vrlo značajan doprinos sprovođenju našeg projekta. Njihove radovi, analizu i priloge za katalog ovih koncepata možete vidjeti na ovom zidu i na stolovima, a kasnije ćemo vam dati uputstva za to, ali prosto mislim da je zgodan moment da ih pomenem i da im se zaista zahvalim na angažovanju i na interesovanju. A drugi komentar se odnosi na investicije. Vi ste zapravo spomenuli, jedno pitanje je bilo ko će investirati, čini mi se, ako sam ga dobro razumela, uz provođenje ovog plana i projekta za Linijski park. Opet kažem, naš projekat podrazumeva samo izradu plana, znači planiranje, ne isprovođenje, ali na osnovu svih sastanaka i komunikacija koje smo imali, mislim da postoji izuzetna volja da se taj plan i projekat zaista isprovedu. Mislim da jesu neka sredstva alocirana ili planirana za alociranje iz budžeta grada Beograda. Takođe imamo indikacije da će neka sredstva biti izdvojena iz jednog novog projekta ovakve vrste, gde će zapravo Beograd biti vodeći grad i onda ćemo mi da nešto gradimo i da nešto merimo i testiramo i da pokazujemo kako je to dobro. Učestvujemo u još jednom radnom paketu koji se odnosi na Linijski park, već na širenje znanja o ovim konceptima i ekološkim rešenjima u regionu. I jedan od naših zadataka je da alociramo dodatna sredstva zapravo za neke pilot intervencije i nadamo se i nastojat ćemo da to uradimo kroz neka druga razvoja. Dosta. Dosta sam rekla. U stvari, možda i nije loše, pošto je ovo kritična tema. Mislim da postoje i neke indikacije i želje da se i sredstva privatnih investitora takođe blenduju. Mislim da blended financing je prilično regularan koncept i metod koji se dosta koristi i mislim da od toga ne treba da zaziremo i zbog toga zapravo i iniciramo ovu komunikaciju koja verujem da neće biti baš laka i sigurno ne u svakom trenutku, ali mislim da stvarno ne treba da zaziremo i da ne treba da stojimo u nekim rovovima i da pokušavamo da se međusobno borimo, nego da shvatimo da neki obrazci investicioni poput Business Improvement Districta, mada on nije idealan, ali mogu da nam posluže kao primjer. Za sada toliko i sada bih zamolila Hamburg koji je ostao na kraju kao prezentacija, ali je zapravo jako važan i vodi ceo naš konzorcijum. Naš konzorcijum ima 34 partnera iz raznih evropskih zemalja i Kine i Južne Amerike. Grad Hamburg koordinira sve naše aktivnosti i imaju izuzetno uspešne primere prakse i izuzetno interesantan model participacije građana. Zato smo ih ostavili na kraju kao motivaciju i podsticaj za našu komunikaciju u nastavku ovog događaja.
First of all, good evening, everybody. My name is Sopa Gonjaria Christian, and together with my colleague here, Jan Pastors, we represent the city of Hamburg. We are, as already Anna mentioned, one of the 3 front-runner cities in the project, together with London and Milan. I will try to present what we are doing in 3 action labs, which we are actively working on. So, let's see if this works. First of all, I tried to keep the full name of our project just for demonstration because we think that it already contains all the key elements what Clever represents for. So once again, to look at it, co-designing locally tailored ecological solutions for the value-added, socially inclusive regenerations in the cities. So here we are talking about the regenerations of the cities and not only the nature-based solutions, but the one core important aspect is the co-designing, which happens together with the local inhabitants. So once again, to give you an overview who we are in Hamburg, I just wanted to demonstrate this, that such projects don't really happen only with the administrative bodies, which are shown down here, but as well with the help of the local cluster, which we have in the case of Hamburg Economic Institutes, as well as Steg. It's a local as well company which supports the participatory activities, and we have as well 2 academic institutions, Technical University and Hafen City University, on board with us in this process. So here is the entire picture of the Hamburg, and as you know, we are located in the north of Germany, and we have like 1.8 million inhabitants with the diverse districts and quarters, and our project area is located in the southwest of Hamburg. And you can see the zoomed in version of the project area. You can see it is as well located between the 2 nature sanctuary. It is which are called heathland and moor sanctuaries in English. And our project goes along the axis of this district here, and the axis is around 3 kilometers long and runs through the different quarters, which encompasses as well as existing building blocks, but as well new quarters. Once again, to show you our project area and the focus points which we are setting on, we are having 3 calls as told already. The first one is about the green corridor, but together with it we have as well green roofs and facades and the rainwater management, which came to the forefront, and we have schoolyard redesigning through the nature-based solutions. So, as for the green corridor, here, once again, I wanted to emphasize that it is about the green axis through the Neugraben-Fischbeck, which is our project area, and it plans and intends to connect the nature and the city, and through several projects alongside the corridor. Here to demonstrate a few of them, we are having lots of urban gardening activities across this corridor and planting actions through the high beds, and in all these processes, all the local inhabitants are involved. These pictures are taken from a few months ago on one of the refugee camps in our project area, where the citizens were involved in the planting of the edible plants, among other, and they were educated how to raise beds, high beds, and also what is most important for us is that they got as well it's not only important to implement a solution, but also to follow it after the project timeline. So those groups are as well committed to continue and continue this work and be sustainable about it. Here is another example, which is in the our project area as well. Here we are talking about the nature playground, and it is in the old village center. Here we try to create a recreational area for the young children, but using the nature-based solutions, and it to be completely different from common playgrounds, because that will be a place where they can experience nature directly in its pure form, and we try to integrate the water elements together with educational elements for them. I was very pleased to see in your presentation that you as well brought as an example the MOS filter, MOS as a nature-based solution. We are working as well on one of the projects which integrates the MOS as a particle for dust reduction, the dust particles and nitrogen oxide. The project is called Smart Eco Farm, and we try to use and integrate MOS as a fine particulate to air filter against the air pollution. It can be upgraded so that there is the irrigation system integrated into it, electricity can be needed, but even without that, that could be a very interesting model for testing and piloting this on a local level if it works, and for future upgrades as well. And it's also important to note that here in this process, our technical university students and IT students are involved in this process, and that could support as well their engagement. Also, when we are talking about green corridor, in our case, it is, as already mentioned, 3-kilometer long axis, and we wanted and decided that there will be a guiding system with an info boards to close this gap as well, to give possibility to the population to see the concrete measures, concrete sites, and explain them what is happening on that site, what is happening for this intervention, as well as give as well guiding to the next spots and provide guidance along the entire corridor line. We will try as well to integrate the smartphone app for this process to gather as well for ourselves data, how interested the population is in it, how many people visit the sites, and so on. We also have the second one. Now to come to the second call, we have two main topics here of green facades and green roofs, as well as rainwater management. To keep it short, in Hamburg we have already a green roof strategy, which is coordinated by our Ministry of Environment and Energy. They are already financing, there exists funds which finances over the 20 square meter roof area, vegetation area, clever as well. Joint forces with our ministry, which is our partner as well in the project, and we are forwarding and fostering the finances for even less than 20 square meter vegetation area. As an example, we gave carport greening here. As for the rainwater management concept, this was as well examples of successful cooperation and with our different Hamburg cluster partners. There became a need to raise the rainwater management topic even more. It was cross-sectoral topic, but because our project area did not really have a rainwater management concept, we decided to do it within Clever, and also ensure that we will have several pilot projects. Here on the right side you can see our pilot project for the cycle path area. The cycle path was planned already to be built in our project area, and we are making a pilot project out of it, which will have a possibility to retain water under the pedestrian lane, and this will give us possibility in the heavy rain periods to check the peak loads and how much water can be retained in such situations. Another rainwater management project which is potentially in the preparation and planning is the bioretention in the rainwater retention basins. And what we think here is to build the sand beds for the filtration and uptake by vegetation, testing of the filtration capacity and effect of the vegetation which it can have on such rainwater retention basins. The third call focuses on the redesign of the school yard, which we have within our project area, and also intends to replicate this solution to other project schools in the project area and throughout the Hamburg as well. What we are doing there is, first of all, we will be having as well school gardens where the school kids will be involved in entire process, co-designing it on their own, as well as co-implementing. That will be integrated in their educational agenda, into their curriculum. But apart from that, what we are planning to do in the schoolyard is to design the Aquaponic System, which is practically what you can see up there. It's like the circular system through fishes and the plants, where fishes feed the plants and the plants through the increments feed the fishes. It's a very good system which is often used in a classroom basis as well, but it can be done in outdoor space as well, so as an educational measure how we could more effectively use the resources. Also, we are planning some chill areas and herb garden in the schoolyard territory. So basically, I think now we jumped too much. So basically, to wrap it up, we are using the co-creation in all of those three CALs, and the co-design and co-implementation is core to our processes, to whatever we do in every single intervention. And here are a few examples which we brought of what we have been doing. On the right side you can see the district festival where we participated together with our Hamburg partners, where we promoted our green roof financing possibility apart from what already exists. On the left side you can see the civics workshop, which was actually the bedline, the root where our rainwater management concept development stems from. They got really interested, and the ideas were very interesting which came out there, and that's what we decided to follow up. We had as well planting action, which is as well very good example to see how old and young generation could be brought together and be integrated. And we have as well our DPAS, which is an online participation tool which was used in our kickoff meetings. And it's because you already mentioned in the beginning the interest with regards to our innovative participatory tools, we decided to show you a small video about the tool which we are using in Hamburg. Hopefully that works, otherwise we have a... okay.
Ćemo postavljati pitanja sada Sofo, ali će Tamara, naš prevodilac, biti tu i u drugom delu našeg današnjeg događaja. Tamara je jedna lepa dama sa plavom kosom, crvenim karminom, bit će ovdje pored ovog stola, tako da ako je nekome potrebna pomoć oko komunikacije, a hoćete da se obratite našim partnerima i kolegama, Tamara će vam pomoći ili naravno možemo u tom radioničarskom delu svi razgovarati. Ja bih također predložila da možda kažemo nešto malo više, pa ne, nemoguće ako tamo radimo tehniku, o tome šta smo radili u Beogradu. Mi imamo još nastavak prezentacije i to će vjerovatno da neće biti mesta za neka nova pitanja možda ako to ispričamo u ovom trenutku. Jeste, upravo ste. Hoćete da vidite, ovo zaista je lep je film i mislim da je dosta posticajan za dalje deo.
Our aim with DPAS is to go ahead with the digitization of citizen participation through the development of a system which offers digital online participation as well as on-site participation. The Ministry of Urban Development and Housing, the Agency of Geoinformatics and Surveying, and the City Science Lab of the Harvard City University work together on this project.
The tool enables the citizens to post georeferenced feedback, get information, and also exchange ideas with other users.
Today, the citizen can write memos or comments on small pieces of paper. That's usually how it works. You just spend hours to digitize all these comments just to start the evaluation. So with DPAS, you just have all the data, you can export them, and you just start the evaluation.
The key element of our tool is the map application. This is where the users can contribute their ideas, post questions, and also post remarks. The additional value of DPAS is that it connects the possibilities of online participation with on-site events. Our team developed a customized interface for touch tables in order to make it possible to access the full potential of geodata so that you can discuss the online ideas also on site and develop new ideas in the dialogue between the planners and the citizens on site.
The development takes place in 3 stages over 3 years, in which each stage is tested and refined.